New Orleans. It's been one of the best stops thus far. It's the most unique city in America, which I think is strange because when you're there you don't even feel like you're really in America. It's equal parts French, Spanish, Caribbean, and American. It's one of the few cities in America, the only city in America that can be claimed it was built by Louis XIV. Yes, that Louis, the one that lived at Versailles in a palace so big you can get lost in it even in a Google Maps tour. It was then seized by the Spanish. It was then taken by the French. It was then the centerpiece of the Louisiana Purchase. In fact, the port city of New Orleans was a major reason Jefferson even went through with the purchase of the territory from Napoleon. It was almost British. The culture is completely its own. Some of the best, most unique cuisine in the United States. Some speak an entirely different language of Creole or have very strong accents. Black Americans are a majority population here. You can see jazz in the room where it is said to have been invented. Alcohol can be consumed openly in the street. You can eat a beignet in a cafe that's been open 24 hours a day for 5 years longer than Nebraska has been a state. You can slurp raw oysters in restaurants that invented many of the major oyster recipes of the United States. Okay, it is awesome. And that said, New Orleans is also a city with a definite edge, and I don't think that needs to be hidden. That it lies on a swamp makes for a unique smell. It's below sea level, so anytime it rains, the water has to be pumped out. The city doesn't really make logistical sense. That it went through a devastating hurricane and oil spill in the last 10 years has made for poverty. It's not uncommon to see children below the age of 10 dancing in the street for money. Alcoholism and homelessness is clearly a serious issue. At one point, a restaurant was suggested to Ryan and I, in which we were told to, quote, put our hands in our pockets so that they think you have a gun in order to get to the restaurant safely. But the problems of New Orleans in no way outweigh the unique history, culture, and spirit of the city of New Orleans. There's a certain feeling to the city that you can't really replicate. There's a reason I didn't turn down the music in this video. I wanted to try to replicate that as much as possible. So this was New Orleans, but New Orleans wasn't always guaranteed to be a place within the United States. What you're currently looking at is a square dedicated to a man who in some ways saved New Orleans for the United States. I want to know who that man was and how or in what way did he save New Orleans? That's the question. Stay posted for a response. Thank you.